My name is Eleanor Caldwell. This year I am 76 years old. The whole town of Willow Creek knows I'm a widow who lives humbly in a small apartment, drinks herbal tea every day, and takes care of flower pots on the balcony. No one knows, and no one asks. I just live in silence, but it's a purposeful silence, because behind that old cardigan and gentle eyes, I'm the founder of Caldwell Ventures, a real estate corporation that many people in town work for without even knowing it. Even my children think I have nothing but memories of my late husband. But then one evening, at the luxury restaurant I own, where my daughter held a celebration party without even looking at me for more than 3 seconds, everything changed. And I realized there are truths that need to be kept secret just to test who really sees me, not my wallet. If you've ever felt judged by your appearance or are simply curious what a mother can do to test her children's hearts, then this story will make you think differently. Don't forget to follow the channel if you want to listen to slices of everyday life that are not ordinary. And if you find this story worth continuing, your like button will be the most subtle encouragement for me. The first light of dawn filtered through the white lace curtains, spreading a gentle strip of light over the small apartment nestled in the town of Willow Creek, a place seemingly forgotten by time in the middle of upper New York. Outside, the morning dew still lingered on the freshly cut lawns, and the air carried the faint scent of damp earth and the day about to begin. I sit at the oak table that has faded over the years, a place that has witnessed hundreds of quiet mornings like this one. My finger hovered over the rim of a porcelain teacup, a delicate, graceful object, and one of the few things I allowed myself to display. It's not to show off, but to remind. In Willow Creek, I am Eleanor Caldwell, a quiet widow who lives on a modest pension, likes to grow lavender, and occasionally visits the library to borrow old books. They looked at me and saw an old woman living a tight life with nothing left to hide. They didn't know that I was the man behind Caldwell Ventures, a real estate empire that quietly owned nearly half of this land, and I spent my whole life keeping it a secret, because there are powers that, once exposed to light, will never be peaceful again. "Morning, Mrs. Caldwell," calls Mr. Thompson, my neighbor, through the open window as he shuffles by with his terrier. His voice is warm, oblivious to the weight of secrets I carry. "Good morning, George," I reply, my tone soft, practiced. "Lovely day, isn't it?" "Couldn't ask for better," he chuckles, disappearing down the sidewalk. I smile faintly, but my mind is elsewhere. This apartment, with its creaky floors and faded wallpaper, is my sanctuary, a carefully crafted disguise. The antique clock on the mantel, a 19th century French piece worth more than most people's cars, ticks softly. The bookshelf holds first editions, their spines unassuming but priceless. Every item here is chosen to blend in, to deflect curiosity. I've spent decades building a life that doesn't draw eyes, a life where no one suspects the truth. My phone buzzes on the table, a sleek device that feels out of place among the chipped dishware. It's a reminder from Marcus, my operations manager. Board meeting at 10, updates on the Sapphire. I sigh, setting the phone face down. The Sapphire, my crown jewel, a high-end restaurant in the heart of Willow Creek, is one of dozens of properties I own. Yet, to the townsfolk, I'm just the old lady who buys her groceries at Miller's Market and chats about the weather. I rise, smoothing my simple cotton dress, and glance at the mirror by the door. My hair, silver and neatly pinned, frames a face etched with lines of experience. I look the part I've chosen, unremarkable, forgettable, but beneath that facade burns a mind sharper than ever, orchestrating deals that keep Caldwell Ventures thriving. I've outmaneuvered tycoons and skirted scandals, all while keeping my name out of the spotlight. It's exhausting sometimes, this double life, but it's necessary. Why do you still do it, Eleanor? I muttered to myself, catching my reflection's eye. The answer isn't simple. It's not just about power or money. It's about control. Control over how the world sees me, over what my children believe, over the legacy I'll leave behind. I step into the kitchen, the linoleum cool under my bare feet, and start the kettle. The routine grounds me. Tea, toast, a moment to breathe before the day pulls me into its demands. As the water boils, I think of Henry, my late husband. He was the only one who ever truly knew me, the only one I didn't have to hide from. Live quietly, love loudly, he'd say, his voice rough with affection. I've tried to honor that, even if it means lying to everyone else. The kettle whistles, and I pour steaming water over chamomile leaves. The scent calms me, but there's a tightness in my chest I can't shake. My children, Clara, Nathan, and their families, don't know who I am. They think I'm a relic, a burden they tolerate out of duty. I've let them believe it, not because I want their pity, but because I need to know who they are when they think I have nothing to offer. Mom, you should move to a home, Clara said once, her voice clipped, assuming I couldn't manage alone. Nathan nodded, distracted by his phone. They didn't see the woman who built an empire from nothing. They saw a frail widow, irrelevant. That's why I keep my secret. I want their love, not their greed. I sit back at the table, the tea warming my hands. The clock chimes 7, and I know I need to get moving. The board meeting looms, and Marcus will have questions about our latest acquisitions. But for now, I let the quiet wrap around me, savoring the stillness before the world demands Eleanor Caldwell, the tycoon, to step forward. You've got this, I whisper, a habit from years of pep talks to myself. I take a sip of tea, the bitterness grounding me. The day is young, and I'm ready, ready to play the part, to keep the mask in place, to protect the life I've built. As I butter my toast, the phone buzzes again. It's Clara. My heart skips, a mix of hope and dread. Hello, sweetheart, I answer, keeping my voice light. Mom, hi, Clara says, her tone brisk. Can you make it to dinner tonight at the Sapphire? I got a promotion, and we're celebrating. The Sapphire, my restaurant. She doesn't know. None of them do. Of course, dear, I say, my smile tight. I wouldn't miss it. Great. Just dress nice, okay? It's kind of a big deal. Her words sting, but I swallow the hurt. I'll do my best, I reply, and she hangs up without another word. I set the phone down, staring at the crumbs on my plate. Tonight, I'll sit among my family, invisible in plain sight. They'll see the widow, not the woman who owns the very table they're dining at. And I'll watch, as I always do, to see if they're capable of loving me, for me. The clock ticks on. I finish my tea, rinse the cup, and head to the bedroom to prepare. The day is calling, and Eleanor Caldwell, both versions of her, has work to do. Steam from a warm cup of chrysanthemum tea curled up in the soft morning light, drawing mist-like streaks in the small apartment in Willow Creek. I sit at the old dining table, the table that has accompanied me for many years, its surface dotted with scratches, like a silent map of quiet mornings like this. The cup I hold in my hand is not an ordinary item. It was a 25th wedding anniversary gift from Henry and I, a handmade work from a reclusive Vermont potter whose work is now worth thousands of dollars. The cup's simplicity conceals its true value, just like me. To the world, I was just Eleanor Caldwell, a widow living frugally, getting by. But to myself, I was the one who built Caldwell Ventures out of the shadows, a secret I kept, even from those of my own blood. I take a sip, the herbal warmth soothing my throat. The taste pulls me back to Henry, his laugh, his calloused hands holding mine. Ellie, he'd say, money's just noise. It's the quiet things that matter. He taught me to live modestly, to let the world underestimate me. When he died 10 years ago, a piece of me went with him, but his lessons stayed. That's why I keep my wealth hidden from Clara and Nathan. I want their love to be real, not bought with dollar signs. Morning, Mrs. Caldwell. Mrs. Larson's voice drifts through the window, sharp and cheerful. She's watering her roses across the street. Morning, Helen, I call back, forcing a smile. She waves, oblivious to the empire I run from this unassuming apartment. I like it that way. The less they know, the less they expect. I set the cup down, its faint clink echoing in the stillness. My eyes drift to the bookshelf, where a faded photo of Henry and me sits between leather-bound classics. We're young in that picture, laughing at some forgotten joke. I was 30, he was 32, and we were building Caldwell Ventures from a single rental property. Back then, it was us against the world. Now it's just me, carrying the weight of his dream and mine. Why keep it from them, Ellie? I whisper, as if Henry's here to answer. Clara and Nathan were kids when we started, too young to understand the deals I struck or the risks I took. After Henry passed, they started asking about money, his will, the family fortune. Their eyes weren't curious. They were hungry. I saw it then, the shift. They didn't want me. They wanted what I could give them. So I lied. I told them there was nothing left, that I lived on a pension. It was a test, one they've been failing ever since. The toast on my plate is cold now, untouched. I pick at it, my mind wandering to Clara's call yesterday. Her voice was all business, no warmth. "Dress nice, Mom," she said, as if I'd show up in rags. She doesn't know I own the sapphire, that I could buy the whole town if I wanted. I wonder what she'd say if she knew. Would she love me more or just want more? "Stop it, Eleanor," I mutter, shaking my head. I can't afford to dwell. There's a board meeting in 2 hours, and Marcus will need my input on the new acquisitions. I push the plate away and stand, the floorboards creaking under my slippers. The apartment feels smaller today, the walls closing in with the weight of my choices. I shuffle to the sink, rinsing the teacup with care. It's one of the few things I've kept from our old life before I traded our mansion for this place. The kids thought I downsized because I had to. They didn't question it, didn't offer help. Clara suggested a nursing home once, her tone so casual it cut deeper than she'll ever know. "You're not getting any younger, Mom," she said. Nathan just nodded, scrolling through his phone. I smiled, said I'd manage, and added another lock to the truth. The clock on the mantel chimes 8, pulling me back. I dry my hands and glance at the mirror by the door. My reflection is a stranger sometimes. Silver hair, lines around my eyes, a face that's seen too much. But there's steel in those eyes, the kind that's kept me standing through boardroom battles and lonely nights. I'm not the frail widow they think I am. I'm Eleanor Caldwell, and I've built something they can't even imagine. "Henry, am I doing this right?" I ask the empty room. No answer, just the tick of the clock. I smooth my dress and grab my purse, the one I bought at a thrift store to keep up appearances. Inside, there's a burner phone for Caldwell business, tucked beside a worn wallet. 2 lives, 1 bag. As I lock the door behind me, my neighbor George waves from his porch. "Off to bingo, Mrs. Caldwell?" he teases. "Something like that," I reply, my smile tight. Bingo! If only he knew I'm headed to a meeting that'll decide the fate of a multi-million-dollar portfolio. The morning air is cool as I step outside, the town waking up around me. Willow Creek is peaceful, its streets lined with mom-and-pop shops and old oaks. I blend in, just another retiree on a morning walk. But my mind is already at the office, running numbers, weighing risks. Tonight, I'll face Clara and the others at the Sapphire. I'll sit at my own table, in my own restaurant, and they'll look right through me. And I'll watch, as always, to see if they're worth trusting with the truth. "You've got this, Ellie," I whisper, echoing Henry's old encouragement. I straighten my shoulders and start walking, the weight of my secret settling into its familiar place. The morning sun was climbing high, casting long shadows on the quiet street of Willow Creek as I walked back from the grocery store on the corner, paper bag tucked under my arm. What I brought wasn't heavy. A few ripe pears, a stick of bread, crushed leaf tea from a familiar store. But my mind is heavy. The phone call still echoes in my mind. Clara's voice, cold and concise, kept repeating like an old song that wouldn't stop. Mom, can you come to dinner tonight? At Sapphire. I just got promoted. The whole family is celebrating. It sounds like an invitation, but in every word it sounds like an obligation that needs to be fulfilled. I'm Eleanor Caldwell, the owner of the Sapphire, the restaurant she chose to celebrate her success. But to Clara, I was just a mother whom she was polite enough to tolerate. Morning, Mrs. Caldwell, calls Jenny, the florist, as she arranges daisies outside her shop. Her smile is genuine, unaware of the empire I run behind my faded cardigan. Good morning, Jenny, I reply, nodding. Those look lovely. They're for the mayor's luncheon, she beams, oblivious to the fact that I own the building she rents. I keep walking, blending into the rhythm of this small town, my secret safe for another day. My apartment door creaks as I step inside, the familiar scent of chamomile and old wood greeting me. I set the groceries on the counter, bread, eggs, nothing extravagant, and check my phone again. No new messages. Clara hung up so quickly. No, how are you, Mom? Or, see you soon. Just, dress nice, okay? It's kind of a big deal. The words sting more than I want to admit. Does she think I'll embarrass her? That I'll shuffle in wearing some tattered shawl, out of place among her polished colleagues? I sink into the chair by the dining table, my fingers brushing the edge of Henry's teacup, still unwashed from this morning. What am I doing, Henry? I murmur. He'd know what to say, how to bridge this gap with our daughter. But he's gone, and I'm left navigating this alone, balancing the truth of who I am with the lie I've let my children believe. The phone buzzes, and my heart leaps, hoping it's Clara calling back, maybe with a softer tone. But it's Marcus, my operations manager at Caldwell Ventures. Eleanor, need your sign off on the Sapphire expansion. Can you come by before noon? I text back a quick yes, but my mind lingers on Clara. The Sapphire, my pride and joy, is where she'll celebrate her promotion tonight. She doesn't know I own it, that I handpicked every detail, from the crystal chandeliers to the mahogany bar. To her, it's just a status symbol, a place to impress her guests. I stand, pacing the small living room, the floorboards groaning under my steps. The antique clock ticks steadily, a reminder of the board meeting looming. But all I can think about is Clara's voice, the distance in it. She's my eldest, my fierce girl who used to climb into my lap and beg for stories. Now she's a stranger, her calls rare and her visits rarer. Mom, you should sell the house, she said after Henry died, assuming I was broke. You can't manage alone. She didn't ask if I needed help, didn't offer, just advice, cold and practical. Was I too hard on her? I asked the empty room, my voice barely a whisper. I raised Clara and Nathan to be independent, to work for what they wanted. But somewhere along the way, they stopped seeing me as a person. They see a widow, a burden, someone to check on out of duty. That's why I keep Caldwell Ventures a secret. I need to know if they'll love me without the lure of money, if they'll see me for who I am, not what I own. The phone rings again, and this time it is Clara. My pulse quickens as I answer. Hello, sweetheart. Mom, just checking you're still coming tonight, she says, her voice all business. It's at 7. Don't be late, okay? I'll be there, I say, forcing warmth into my tone. Congratulations again, Clara. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, thanks, she replies, distracted. I hear voices in the background, her office bustling. Oh, and Mom, it's a nice place, so maybe wear something, appropriate. There'll be important people there. The words hit like a slap, but I keep my voice steady. Of course, dear, I'll dress appropriately. Great. See you then. She hangs up, and the silence that follows is deafening. I set the phone down, my hands trembling slightly. Appropriate. Does she think I don't know what that means? That I'll show up in some dowdy sweater, shaming her in front of her colleagues? I own the sapphire, for God's sake. I could walk in wearing a ball gown if I wanted. But I won't. I'll play the part she expects, the unassuming mother, fading into the background. Ellie, you're stronger than this, I tell myself, echoing Henry's old pep talk. I walk to the bedroom, opening the closet where my widow's wardrobe hangs. Simple dresses, muted colors, nothing to draw attention, but tucked in the back is a cedar box, locked, where I keep a few pieces from my other life. A silk blouse, a tailored jacket, things that whisper power without screaming it. Tonight, I'll need something in between, something that satisfies Clara's request but keeps my secret intact. As I sort through the clothes, my mind drifts to the dinner. Nathan will be there, probably distracted, and Clara's husband, James, with his polite but empty smiles. The grandkids, too, if they're not glued to their phones. I want to believe they'll see me tonight, really see me, but hope is a dangerous thing. I've watched them drift away, their visits growing shorter, their calls less frequent, and I've let them, testing their hearts, waiting for a sign they care. The clock chimes 11, snapping me back. I need to get to the office, to Marcus, to the world where I'm not invisible. I grab my purse, the burner phone tucked inside, and head for the door. Tonight, I'll sit at my own table in my own restaurant, surrounded by family who don't know me. And I'll watch, as I always do, searching for a reason to trust them with the truth. You've got this, I whisper, stepping into the hallway. The door clicks shut behind me, locking away the widow's life for now. Eleanor Caldwell, the tycoon, has work to do. Morning in Willow Creek had turned to noon, sunlight golden on the sidewalk as I stepped out of the taxi, stopping 2 blocks from Caldwell Ventures headquarters. The old brick building stood humbly in the middle of the street, its faded sign reading Caldwell Consulting, making it fade into the background as an insignificant small office. No one knows that behind that door is the center coordinating a real estate empire spanning across New York State. To my neighbors, I am just an old widow who lives quietly by a window covered with lavender flowers. But here, I am the invisible hand controlling millions of dollars in assets, silent deals, buildings in someone else's name, but actually belonging to me. But today, my mind is not on numbers or contracts. It's stuck on the brief phone call with Clara and the dinner at the Sapphire, the very restaurant I own, where the family will gather. No one knowing I'm the one paying for the golden lights on the ceiling, the crystal glasses they toast. They will sit around the table, proud of what they have accomplished. As for me, I will sit silently again as a mother who is just inviting. Morning, Mrs. C, greets Sarah, the receptionist, as I slip through the side entrance. Her smile is professional, unaware of the weight I carry. Morning, Sarah, I reply, my voice steady, practiced. I adjust my scarf, a thrift store find that completes my disguise, and head for the elevator. The doors close, and I let out a breath. In this building, I don't have to pretend, at least, not entirely. The top floor is my domain, a sleek office hidden behind frosted glass. As the elevator hums, I check my burner phone, a text from Marcus Reed, my right-hand man. Ready for you. Sapphire numbers look solid. I nod to myself. The Sapphire is more than a restaurant. It's a symbol of everything I've built, everything my children don't know. The doors open and Marcus is waiting, his suit crisp, his expression all business. Eleanor, he says, falling into step beside me. You're late. Everything okay? Clara called, I say, keeping my tone light as we enter my office. The space is minimalist: mahogany desk, a single orchid, floor to ceiling windows overlooking Willow Creek. No family photos, no personal touches. It's deliberate. She's having a promotion dinner at the Sapphire tonight, wants me to dress nice. Marcus raises an eyebrow, settling into the chair across from me. She still doesn't know? No one does. I sit, smoothing my dress, and it stays that way. He sighs, running a hand through his graying hair. Eleanor, I've known you 20 years. This game you're playing with your kids, it's risky. They're not kids anymore. Clara's what, 40? Nathan's pushing 35. They deserve to know who you are. I lean back, my fingers tapping the desk. Deserve? The word tastes bitter. After Henry died, Clara told me to sell the house, said I couldn't manage. Nathan didn't even look up from his phone. They thought I was helpless, Marcus. They didn't offer to help, didn't ask how I was. They just wanted the estate settled. Marcus frowns, but he doesn't argue. He knows the story, how I built Caldwell Ventures from a single property Henry and I bought in '82, how I took over after his death, turning it into a powerhouse while letting the world think I was a grieving widow living on scraps. My children bought the lie, and their indifference since has been my test. Let's focus, I say, sliding a folder across the desk. The Sapphire expansion. Talk to me. Marcus flips it open, his tone shifting to business. Revenue's up 12%. The new patio seating's a hit. But we've got a zoning issue for the second location in Albany. Local council's dragging their feet. Lean on Councilman Hayes, I say, my mind sharpening. He owes us after the community center deal. Get him on the phone by tomorrow. Done. Marcus jots a note, then hesitates. Eleanor, about tonight. You're walking into your own restaurant, sitting with people who don't know you own it. What's the play? I meet his gaze, my voice firm. I watch. I listen. Clara's bringing important people. Nathan and James will be there, probably the grandkids, too. I need to see how they treat me when they think I'm nothing. And if they treat you like nothing, he presses, his eyes searching mine, then I'll know, I say quietly. I'll know they don't deserve the truth. Marcus shakes his head but doesn't push further. We dive into the numbers: leases, acquisitions, a potential hotel chain partnership. My mind hums, calculating risks, spotting opportunities. This is where I'm alive, where Eleanor Caldwell isn't invisible. But every decision is tempered by the question I can't shake. Am I doing this right? Henry would say to trust my gut, but my gut's been quiet lately, drowned out by Clara's coldness, Nathan's distance. Eleanor, Marcus says, closing his laptop, I get why you're doing this, but secrets like yours, they don't just protect you. They can hurt people. Clara and Nathan might surprise you if you gave them a chance. I smile thinly. They've had chances, Marcus. Tonight's another one. He nods, standing. Fair enough. I'll have the Albany report by tomorrow. And Eleanor, try to enjoy the dinner. You built that place. You deserve to. Thanks, I say, but the word feels hollow. As he leaves, I turn to the window, Willow Creek sprawling below. The Sapphire's out there, its elegant facade a beacon for the town's elite. Tonight, I'll walk through its doors as a guest, not the owner. I'll sit among my family, searching their faces for something, anything that proves they see me. The clock on my desk ticks toward 1. I gather my things, slipping the burner phone into my purse beside the thrift store wallet. 2 lives, 1 bag. As I head for the elevator, Sarah calls out, "Have a good one, Mrs. C." You too, I reply, my smile automatic. The doors close, and I'm alone again, the weight of my secret settling back in. Tonight at the Sapphire, I'll face my family. I'll wear the mask they expect, but I'll be watching, always watching, for a reason to let it fall. You've got this, Ellie, I whisper, stepping into the lobby. The cab's waiting outside, and I'm ready for the meeting, for the dinner, for whatever comes next. The afternoon sun poured honey onto the ancient streets of Willow Creek as I stepped out of the taxi and stopped in front of the Sapphire, my restaurant, even though no one here would have thought so. The gray stone facade is polished to the point of reflecting the yellowing sky, and the tall windows reflect the people rushing past. I live between two worlds. In the eyes of outsiders, I am an elderly, secretive woman with nothing outstanding other than my politeness. But here, in the shadows of anonymous contracts and ownership, I am the one in charge. Tonight, I don't carry any of those roles, just a mother invited to a dinner celebrating her daughter's promotion. Clara's voice this morning still rings in her ears. Mom, remember to dress nicely. This is an important occasion. I've come here to make sure everything is perfect for her moment. The lights are just right, the flowers are fresh, the wine is ready to be poured. But even though I had prepared everything, I couldn't dispel the cold feeling left from my daughter's voice. Words are invitations, but the voice is distance. Afternoon, ma'am, says Tom, the doorman, tipping his hat. He doesn't know me as the owner, just a regular who tips well. Hello, Tom, I reply, offering a small smile. Busy day? Always is, he chuckles, holding the door. I step inside, the air cool and scented with rosemary and leather. The sapphire is my masterpiece. Crystal chandeliers casting soft light, mahogany tables set with precision, a hum of elegance that draws Willow Creek's elite. But to Clara, Nathan, and the rest, it's just a fancy venue for her promotion party. Mrs. Caldwell! Maria, the head chef, spots me from the kitchen doorway, her apron dusted with flour. She hurries over, lowering her voice. Didn't expect you till later. Everything okay? Everything's fine, I say, glancing around to ensure no one's listening. Clara's hosting her dinner here tonight. I need it to be flawless. Maria nods, her eyes sharp. Already on it. The menu's set, filet mignon, truffle risotto, the works. Staff's been briefed. Good. I pause, then add. And Maria? No one mentions I own the place. Not a word. Understood, she says, though her brow furrows. She's worked for me a decade, knows my double life, but never questions it. Anything else? Check the wine pairings, I say. Clara's particular about reds. Got it. Maria heads back to the kitchen, and I walk the dining room, my fingers trailing over a velvet chair. Every detail here is mine, the hand-carved bar, the imported linens, the jazz playlist I curated. Yet tonight, I'll sit here as a guest, invisible to my own family. Eleanor? A voice pulls me back. It's Marcus, stepping in from the manager's office, his tie loosened. Thought you'd be at the office. Needed to check on things, I say, meeting his gaze. Clara's dinner, it's important. He studies me, then sighs. You're sure about this? Playing the nobody in your own restaurant? If they find out, they won't. I cut in, my voice firm. Not unless I choose to tell them. Marcus shakes his head, leaning against a table. I'm just saying, Eleanor, this secret's a tightrope. One slip, and it's not just you who falls. Clara, Nathan, the grandkids, they'll feel betrayed. I look away, my chest tightening. He's not wrong. I've walked this line for years, testing my children's loyalty, waiting for them to see me without the lure of wealth. But the distance between us, Clara's coldness, Nathan's indifference, has only grown. Tonight's another chance, but Marcus's words gnaw at me. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm pushing them away? They need to earn it, Marcus, I say quietly. Henry taught me that. Love isn't owed, not even to family. He nods, but his eyes are skeptical. Just be careful, you're playing with fire. I always am, I reply, forcing a smile. Now, help me check the private room. We walk to the back, where Clara's party will dine. The table is set for 10. Clara, her husband James, Nathan, the grandkids, and her important guests. I adjust a fork, my fingers lingering on the silver. Make sure the staff knows to treat me like any other guest, I tell Marcus. No special attention. Eleanor, you're the boss, he says, half joking. Hard to ignore that. Then try harder, I snap, softer than I mean. He doesn't flinch, just nods. As we finish, I glance at my watch. 4 o'clock. I need to get home, choose an outfit that satisfies Clara's appropriate without betraying my secret. I'll be back at 7, I say, heading for the door. Eleanor, Marcus calls, stopping me. Whatever happens tonight, you're not alone in this, okay? I meet his eyes, grateful but guarded. Thank you, Marcus. And back at my apartment, the quiet feels heavier. I open my closet, bypassing the widow's drab dresses for the locked cedar box in the back. Inside, a navy silk dress, elegant, understated, nothing like the granny clothes Clara expects. I hold it up, the fabric cool against my skin. It's perfect, a compromise between the mother she knows and the woman I am. Will this do, Clara? I murmur, picturing her critical gaze. I lay the dress on the bed, then sit, my hands clasped. Tonight, I'll walk into the sapphire, my own creation, and face my family. I'll watch their faces, listen to their words, searching for a reason to trust them with the truth. But Marcus's warning echoes, a tightrope, a slip, a fall. I stand, shaking off the doubt. You've got this, Ellie, I whisper, Henry's old mantra steadying me. I start getting ready, each motion deliberate, hair pinned neatly, a touch of lipstick, the dress slipping on like armor. The mirror reflects a woman who's neither widow nor tycoon, just Eleanor, ready for whatever tonight brings. As I grab my purse, the burner phone buzzes, a text from Maria. All set for tonight. You're gonna shine. I smile, tucking it away. The sapphire awaits, and so does my family. I'm ready to play my part, to watch, to wait. The light from the crystal chandeliers cast a warm layer of gold over the banquet hall as I walked through the polished doors of the sapphire. The navy silk dress slid lightly around my ankles, as soft as if I were entering a strange place, even though every brick in this restaurant was my decision. The sound of laughter and chatter, the sound of glasses clinking together was like the heartbeat of a successful evening. But my heartbeat is erratic, fast, not because of the beauty of this place, but because of what it hides. I am the one who created this place, the one behind the halo. But tonight, to my family, I am just Mom, a polite old shadow sitting at the table like a casually invited guest. Clara's words still haven't left. Mom, remember to dress nicely. This is an important occasion. I dressed well. I have made everything here perfect down to every detail, but I was also prepared to swallow their indifference, just like every time before. And my secret, as usual, remained silent under the silk and chandeliers. Welcome, ma'am, says Tom, the doorman, with a nod. He doesn't know I'm the boss, just a familiar face. Thank you, Tom, I reply, my voice calm, practiced. I step inside, the scent of rosemary and wine wrapping around me. The private dining room is down the hall where Clara, Nathan, and the others wait. My heart tugs, hope, dread, a tangle I can't unravel. Mrs. Caldwell! Maria, the chef, catches my eye from the bar, her smile discreet. She mouths, "You look great," and I nod, grateful but guarded. I've told the staff to treat me like any guest tonight. No slip-ups, no hints of who I am. I pause by a mirror, checking my reflection. The dress is perfect, elegant, not flashy. My silver hair is pinned neatly, my face composed. I look like a mother, not a tycoon. You've got this, Ellie, I whisper, Henry's old mantra steadying me. Then I head for the private room, each step heavier than the last. Mom, you made it, Clara says as I enter, her tone flat, her eyes barely leaving her phone. She's in a sleek black dress, her auburn hair swept up, every inch the corporate star. The table is half full, her husband James in a tailored suit, Nathan, my youngest, slouched in a blazer, and my grandkids, Emma and Liam, staring at their screens. "Hello, sweetheart," I say, forcing warmth. "Congratulations again." "Yeah, thanks," Clara replies, distracted. She gestures vaguely. "Sit anywhere." James offers a polite smile. "Good to see you, Eleanor." His tone is formal, distant, like I'm a distant aunt, not his mother-in-law. "Hey, Mom," Nathan mumbles, not looking up from his phone. Emma and Liam barely nod, their earbuds in. I swallow the hurt, taking a seat near the end, where I can watch them all. The room fills as Clara's colleagues arrive. Sharp-suited men and women, their laughter loud, their chatter about deals and bonuses louder. Clara's in her element, shaking hands, tossing her head back at jokes. She barely glances my way. I sip my water, the crystal glass cool against my lips, and listen. "So, Clara," a man in a pinstripe suit says, leaning in, "this promotion, VP of Marketing. Big step. You must be thrilled." "Beyond thrilled," Clara beams. "It's been a long road, but worth it." "Bet your family's proud," he adds, glancing at me briefly. I smile, waiting for Clara's response. "Oh, she says, waving a hand. "They're supportive in their way." Their way. The words cut, but I keep my face neutral. James changes the subject, and Nathan scrolls on, oblivious. Emma whispers something to Liam, and they giggle. Not at me, but not with me either. I'm here, but I'm invisible. "Eleanor, you're quiet," James says suddenly, his tone almost accusing. "Everything okay?" "Just enjoying the evening," I reply, my voice steady. "It's a beautiful place?" "Yeah, it's fancy," Nathan says, finally looking up. "Clara picked it. Good call, sis." Clara shrugs. "It's the best in town. Had to book weeks ago." I bite back a smile. I could have gotten her this room with a phone call, but she doesn't know that. The waiter arrives, pouring wine, and I notice Maria's touch in the presentation. Flawless, as I asked, but the perfection feels hollow when Clara barely acknowledges me. As the appetizers arrive, the conversation shifts to Clara's work, her colleagues dominating. I try to join in. "Clara, what does your new role involve?" I ask, leaning forward. She hesitates, as if surprised I'm speaking. "Oh, strategy, campaigns. It's complicated." Her tone says, "You wouldn't understand." "I'd love to hear more." I press, but she's already turning to her colleague, laughing at some inside joke. Nathan's back on his phone, James is checking his watch, and the grandkids are whispering again. The room feels colder, despite the warm lighting. "Mom, you don't have to stay late," Clara says suddenly, her voice low, like she's doing me a favor. "I know this isn't really your scene." My chest tightens, but I smile. "I'm fine, dear. I want to celebrate with you." She nods, unconvinced, and turns away. James leans in. "It's a bit upscale for her, Clara. Maybe she'd be more comfortable at home." I hear it, clear as day, and my grip on the glass tightens. They think I'm out of place, a burden in their polished world. I want to stand, to tell them this is my world, that I built this room they're sitting in. But I don't. I sit, silent, watching, the hurt pooling inside me. The main course arrives, and the chatter continues, excluding me. Emma finally speaks, not to me, but to Clara. "Can we go soon? This is boring." "Soon, sweetie," Clara says, then glances at me. "Mom, maybe you could take them home? They're restless." I open my mouth to respond, but a crash from the main dining room cuts me off. Raised voices follow, sharp and angry. My instincts kick in. This is my restaurant, my responsibility. I stand, smoothing my dress. "Excuse me," I say, my voice calm but firm. "Mom, where are you going?" Clara asks, frowning. Just checking on something, I reply, already moving. Clara's colleagues exchange glances. Nathan looks confused, and James mutters something about old ladies wandering off. I ignore them, my focus on the commotion. Whatever's happening out there, I'll handle it. And maybe, just maybe, it'll force my hand, make me show them who I really am. The door to the private party room closed behind me, and the polite laughter faded as the chaos up ahead tore me out of the role my family had assigned me. There was a crash, glass breaking, and then someone's high-pitched, harsh voice. I don't hesitate. The navy silk dress glided lightly with each step, but my heart pounded, not because of fear, but because of instinct. This is my restaurant, my territory, and something is going wrong. My family, Clara cold, Nathan indifferent, James always talking to me as if I were a maid who had accidentally soiled the tablecloth, still sat back there, unaware. I used to bow my head and stay silent, but that was a different Eleanor. Now there is a problem to solve, and the one who solves it is always me. What's going on? I ask Maria, the head chef, as I reach the main floor. She's by the bar, her face tight, gesturing to a table where a man in a loud blazer is berating a waiter. Customers drunk, unhappy with the steak, Maria whispers. He threw a plate, staff's trying to calm him, but he's escalating. I glance at the scene, the man's red-faced, jabbing a finger at young Ethan, one of my best servers. Other diners are staring, their forks paused midair. The Sapphire's reputation, my reputation, is at stake. I could let the manager handle it, but I'm here and this is mine. Get security on standby, I tell Maria, my voice low, and clear the nearby tables discreetly. She nods, hurrying off. I straighten, smoothing my dress, and approach the table, my steps measured. Ethan's eyes widen as he sees me, but I give him a subtle shake of my head. Don't blow my cover. Sir, is there a problem? I ask, my tone calm but firm, the voice I've used in boardrooms for decades. The man turns, his scowl deepening. Who the hell are you? Another waiter? This place is a joke. Overpriced garbage. He gestures at the shattered plate on the floor. I'm with management, I say, sidestepping the truth. Let's resolve this. What's wrong with your meal? It's trash, he slurs, standing, swaying slightly. I paid $100 for this steak, and it's tougher than my shoe. The room's attention is on us now, whispers rippling. I catch Clara's voice from the private room's doorway. She's followed me, curious or annoyed, I can't tell. Mom, what are you doing? She hisses, but I ignore her. I'm sorry you're disappointed, I say to the man, my eyes steady. We'll replace the steak, on the house, or offer something else. Your choice. He laughs, bitter. You think I trust this dump to do better? I want a refund, and I want it now. Ethan steps forward, nervous. Ma'am, I can get the manager. No need, I cut in, my voice sharper. I'm handling this. I turn to the man. A refund's fine, but you need to lower your voice and sit down. You're disturbing our guests. He blinks, caught off guard by my authority. Then his face hardens. You don't tell me what to do, lady. Who do you think you are? Before I can answer, Clara's at my side, her voice low, embarrassed. Mom, stop. You're making a scene. Let the staff handle it. I meet her eyes, the hurt from her earlier dismissal flaring. She thinks I'm meddling, clueless. Nathan's behind her now, frowning, and James is watching from the doorway, arms crossed. My grandkids, Emma and Liam, peek out, curious. They're all here, judging, assuming I'm overstepping. I've got this, Clara, I say, my tone clipped. I turn back to the man, but he's not done. Your management? He sneers. Then you're responsible for this mess. I'm posting this online. Sapphire's a scam. That's the line. I've spent years building this place, pouring my heart into every detail. I won't let a drunk ruin it. Sir, I say, my voice rising just enough, I'm not just management. I'm Eleanor Caldwell, and I own the Sapphire. You're welcome to leave, but you'll do it quietly, or security will escort you out. The room goes silent. The man freezes, his bluster fading. Ethan's jaw drops, and Maria, nearby, hides a grin. But it's Clara's gasp that cuts deepest. What? She whispers, stepping back. Mom, you're joking, Nathan says, his phone forgotten, his eyes wide. James's arms drop, his face a mix of shock and disbelief. Emma and Liam stare, earbuds out, mouths open. You own this place? Clara asks, her voice trembling, like she's piecing together a puzzle she never saw coming. I don't look at them. I keep my eyes on the man, who's deflating fast. Your refund's at the door, I tell him. Go! He mumbles something, grabs his coat, and stumbles out, security trailing. The other diners clap softly, returning to their meals. But my family's stares burn into me, a spotlight I didn't want yet. Eleanor, Maria says softly, touching my arm. You okay? Fine, I lie, turning to face Clara and the others. Their faces are a mix of shock, confusion, and something else. Guilt, maybe. I've kept this secret for years, testing their love, their respect. Now the truth's out, and I'm not ready for what comes next. Mom, how? Clara starts, but I raise a hand. Not here, I say, my voice steady despite the storm inside. Private room, now! They follow, silent, as I lead them back. Nathan's muttering to James. Clara's clutching her purse like a lifeline, and the grandkids trail behind, whispering. I've spent a decade hiding who I am, letting them think I'm a broke widow, watching their indifference grow. Tonight, they saw Eleanor Caldwell, the tycoon, and I can't unring that bell. As we reach the room, I pause, taking a breath. You've got this, Ellie, I whisper, Henry's mantra barely steadying me. The truth is out, and whatever comes next, anger, apologies, or more distance, I'll face it. But first, they need to hear why. The space in the Sapphire's private party room seemed to shrink, the wall quietly closing in as I closed the door behind me. There's no way out, no more rolls. Before me, the family stood frozen. Clara stiffened, her eyes blank as if she'd been pulled from a false dream. Nathan opened his mouth, but no words came out. James stood still, his eyes dark as if he had just been slapped with the truth. Emma and Liam, two kids who usually couldn't take their eyes off their phones, were now wide-eyed, looking at me as if I were a complete stranger, and maybe, to them, I really was. I stood straight, my hands still warm and slightly trembling from the aftershocks. The truth is out. I am not just a frugal mother or grandmother living in an old house in Willow Creek. I'm the one who built Caldwell Ventures, the owner of the restaurant that they still think is posh, but strangely Mom never orders anything expensive. I used to hide it because I thought I was protecting something fragile between us. But perhaps, in hiding myself, I lost them a long time ago. Now I have nothing to hide. There's nothing left to fear. Only silence remained, heavy, awkward, and a question hanging in each person's eyes. Who are you, Mother? Mom, what the hell was that? Clara finally says, her voice sharp but shaky, her arms crossed tight. You own the Sapphire? Since when? Sit, I say, my tone calm but unyielding, pointing to the mahogany table, still set with half-eaten plates. They hesitate, then comply, chairs scraping as they settle. I remain standing, my hands clasped, the navy silk dress suddenly feeling like armor. The chandelier's light casts shadows across their faces, and I take a breath, Henry's mantra echoing faintly. You've got this, Ellie. Explain, Nathan says, leaning forward, his blazer rumpled. You've been letting us think you're, what, broke? Living off a pension in that tiny apartment? Yes, I say simply, meeting his gaze, and I need you to listen before you judge. Clara scoffs, but there's hurt in her eyes. Listen? Mom, you lied to us. For years. You let us think you were struggling and you're, what, a millionaire? More, I say, my voice steady. Caldwell Ventures owns half of Willow Creek's commercial properties, plus assets across the state. I've run it since your father died. James lets out a low whistle, shaking his head. Eleanor, this is unbelievable. Why keep it from us? I look at him, then at Clara, then Nathan, their faces a mix of shock and betrayal. Emma and Liam are silent, watching like they're at a play they don't understand. The weight of a decade presses on me, but I don't flinch. Because I needed to know who you were, I say, my voice low, cutting through the room. After Henry died, you changed, both of you. Clara frowns, her fingers tightening on her purse. Changed? What are you talking about? You came to me, I say, my eyes on her. 2 weeks after the funeral, you asked about the will, the estate. You said I should sell the house, move to a home, because I couldn't manage. You didn't ask how I was, Clara. You didn't care. Her mouth opens, then closes, her cheeks flushing. That's not fair. I was worried about you. Were you? I ask, my voice softer now but sharp. Or were you worried about what you'd inherit? Nathan, you were there too, nodding along, checking your phone. Neither of you offered to help. You assumed I was helpless, a burden. Nathan shifts, looking down. Mom, we thought you were alone, that you needed looking after. I didn't, I say, my gaze unwavering. I was running a company, negotiating deals, keeping Henry's dream alive. But I let you believe I was a broke widow because I wanted to see how you'd treat me if I had nothing to give you. The room is silent, the clink of glasses from the main dining area faint through the walls. Clara's eyes glisten, but she blinks hard, refusing to cry. James reaches for her hand, but she pulls away. So this was a test? She asks, her voice breaking. You were testing us? Yes, I admit, no hesitation. And you failed. Tonight, you barely spoke to me. You told me to leave early, said I didn't fit in. James, you agreed. Nathan, you couldn't even look up from your phone. Emma, Liam, you ignored me. I was invisible to you, and it's been that way for years. Emma's voice is small, hesitant. Grandma, we didn't mean to. I know, sweetheart, I say, softening for her. But it's not just tonight. It's every call you don't return, every visit you cut short. I wanted to believe you'd love me, not for money. But I've been waiting, and all I've seen is indifference. Clara's head snaps up, her voice fierce. That's not true. I've been busy, Mom. I have a career, a family. I invited you tonight, didn't I? You invited me, I say, and told me to dress nice, like I'd embarrass you. You suggested I take the kids home because they were bored, like I'm just the babysitter. You didn't want me here, Clara. You wanted the optics of a family dinner. She flinches, and Nathan rubs his face, muttering, Jesus, Mom, this is a lot. I know, I say, my voice quieter now. And I'm not saying this to hurt you. I'm saying it because I love you, and I'm disappointed. I built this, I gesture to the room, the restaurant, the empire beyond it. For us, for our family. But I needed to know you'd value me without it. James clears his throat, his tone careful. Eleanor, we messed up. But you keeping this secret, it feels like you didn't trust us. I didn't, I say, the truth raw. And you haven't given me reason to. The silence is heavy. Their faces a mix of guilt and confusion. Liam speaks, his voice barely above a whisper. Grandma, are you, like, super rich? I smile faintly, despite myself. Something like that. Clara stands, her chair scraping. I need air, she says, heading for the door. Nathan follows, mumbling, I'll talk to her. James stays, watching me, while Emma and Liam huddle closer, unsure. Eleanor, James says, we didn't know. If we'd known, you'd have treated me differently, I finish. That's the point, James. I didn't want your respect because of money. I wanted it because I'm your mother. He nods, looking down. I sit, finally, the weight of the truth settling. The door clicks as Clara and Nathan step outside, their voices muffled. I don't know what comes next, anger, apologies, or more distance, but the mask is off, and I'm ready to face it, whatever it is. You've got this, Ellie, I whisper, my hands steady now. The sapphire hums around me, my creation, my truth, and for the first time in years, I'm not invisible. The space in the Sapphire's private party room is now quiet, so quiet that you can even hear the sound of the second hand ticking by on the wall clock. Everything has been said, and now only the echo remains, heavy, dull, like fine dust after a thunderstorm, silently falling onto every tabletop, every crevice in people's hearts. I sat still at the head of the mahogany table, my hands clasped in my lap, my navy silk dress still perfectly folded, despite the chaos that had just occurred. Through the half-closed door, Clara and Nathan's voices murmured, a tense song that I didn't want to listen to, but couldn't ignore either. James remained quietly opposite. His gaze was a mixture of surprise and remorse, as if reviewing every time I had quietly retreated back, wondering why I hadn't noticed sooner. Emma and Liam sat close, their childish eyes no longer looking at the screen, but looking at me, questioning, suspicious, but also somewhat awed. The truth has been revealed. There are no more roles to hide behind. The woman they thought was simple, dim, turned out to be the one behind everything, behind where they were sitting, behind the buildings, behind the deals. They never knew, and now that has created a rift. Could be an injury, but it could also be a gap, wide enough for light to penetrate. Grandma, Emma says softly, her voice hesitant, are you mad at us? I look at her, her wide eyes so like Clara's at that age, and my heart softens. Not mad, sweetheart, I say, reaching for her hand. Just tired. I've been waiting a long time for you all to see me. Liam shifts, his voice small. We didn't know you were, like, a boss. That's kinda cool. I smile, faint but real. It's not about being cool, Liam. It's about being family. I needed to know you'd care about me, not just what I have. James clears his throat, his hands clasped tight. Eleanor, we messed up. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how we were treating you. I meet his gaze, searching for sincerity. Thank you, James. But apologies are easy. I need to see change. He nods, looking down, and the door opens. Clara steps in, her eyes red but her jaw set. Nathan follows, his hands in his pockets, his expression sheepish. They sit, the silence heavy until Clara speaks, her voice low. Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't know any of this, but you should have told us. I lean forward, my voice steady. Clara, I told you why I didn't. After Dad died, you and Nathan treated me like a problem to solve, not a person. You suggested a nursing home, told me to sell the house. You didn't ask how I was. I needed to know if you'd love me without money in the picture. Nathan rubs his neck, his voice rough. Mom, I was an idiot. I didn't think, I thought you were okay. Just, old. Old doesn't mean useless, I say, sharper than I mean. I've been running an empire while you thought I was knitting in that apartment. Clara's eyes flash, but there's no fight in her. I get it, okay? I screwed up. I've been so caught up in work, in my life, I didn't see you. But I'm here now. I want to fix this. Her words catch me off guard, a flicker of hope I haven't felt in years. How? I ask, my tone careful. She hesitates, then says, "Lunch. Tomorrow at my house. Just us, no colleagues, no distractions. I want to talk, really talk. About you, about everything." Nathan nods, leaning in. "Yeah, Mom, me too. I've been a lousy son. Let me make it right. The kids," he glances at Emma and Liam, "they want to know you, not just as grandma, but as, the badass who owns this place." Emma giggles and Liam grins. "Can we visit the restaurant again?" he asks. "Like, see how it works?" I look at them, my family, their faces open in a way I haven't seen in years. It's not perfect, not a full bridge over the gap, but it's a start. "I'd like that," I say, my voice softer now. "But it's not just about the restaurant. It's about us. No more assumptions, no more distance." "Can you do that?" Clara nods, her eyes meeting mine. "I'll try, Mom, I promise." "Me too," Nathan adds, his voice earnest. James reaches for Clara's hand, and this time she lets him hold it. The tension in the room eases, like a knot loosening. I don't trust it fully, not yet. I've spent too long watching them drift, testing their hearts. But this feels different, fragile but real. "Lunch tomorrow," I say, locking eyes with Clara. "I'll be there." "Good," she says, a small smile breaking through. "And Mom, I'm proud of you. I wish I'd known sooner." The words hit harder than I expect, and I swallow, nodding. "Thank you, Clara." Emma tugs my sleeve. "Grandma, tell us about the restaurant. How'd you make it so fancy?" I laugh, the sound surprising me. "It's a long story, sweetheart, but I'll tell you some of it tomorrow, okay?" "Okay," she says, beaming. Liam's already asking about the kitchen, and for the first time tonight, I feel like I'm here, not invisible. The waiter pokes his head in, hesitant. "Mrs. Caldwell, dessert's ready. Should we serve?" "Yes," I say, glancing at my family. "Let's finish the night right." As the plates arrive, chocolate torte, my recipe, I watch them. Clara's talking to Emma, Nathan's joking with Liam, and James is listening. Actually listening. It's not perfect, but it's more than I've had in years. I sip my wine, the warmth spreading through me, and think of Henry. "We're getting there, love," I tell him silently. "Maybe they're ready to see me." The night winds down, and as we say goodbyes, Clara hugs me, brief but tight. "See you tomorrow, Mom," she says, and I believe her. I step into the cool night, the sapphire glowing behind me. My restaurant, my truth, my family. Tonight they collided, and something new is forming. I'm not naive. Trust will take time. But for now, I'll take this moment, this promise of lunch, this chance to be seen. "You've got this, Ellie," I whisper, heading home, the stars bright above Willow Creek. The morning sunlight filtered through the lace curtains. Today's light was softer than usual, as if the whole town of Willow Creek was waiting with bated breath. I sat at the old oak dining table, a cup of hot chrysanthemum tea nestled in my hand, radiating silent warmth like a comforting whisper. Last night at the Sapphire still felt like a strange dream. The truth burst out. The eyes were stunned. The apologies voiced were trembling. They looked at me differently, no longer as the widow sitting quietly at the edge of the banquet table. Without holding up my business card, I still let them see I am the one who built what they think only exists in someone else's world. This afternoon, I will go to Clara's house. An ordinary lunch, but inside it packs something bigger, the opportunity to heal. My heart is still cautious. The beat is not completely trustworthy. But somewhere, just beneath the old layer of doubt, there was a glimmer of hope that had just dawned, small but brighter than any morning before. "Morning, Mrs. Caldwell," calls Mr. Thompson from the street, his terrier yapping. His voice is a familiar anchor, grounding me in this double life. "Good morning, George," I reply through the open window, my smile easier today. He waves, oblivious to the weight of yesterday, and I'm grateful for that normalcy. I sip my tea, the cup, Henry's anniversary gift, smooth against my fingers. His words echo: live quietly, love loudly. Last night, I stopped living quietly. Clara's hug, Nathan's promise, Emma and Liam's curiosity. They're not enough to erase a decade of distance, but they're a start. I set the cup down, glancing at the antique clock. 11 o'clock. Lunch is at noon and I need to get moving. Ellie, you ready for this? I murmur, standing. My reflection in the mirror shows a woman changed. Not the dress, a simple cream blouse and skirt today, but the eyes. They're less guarded, daring to hope. I grab my purse, the burner phone tucked beside my thrift store wallet, and head out. Clara's house is a 20-minute drive, a modern colonial in Willow Creek's upscale suburb. The cab drops me off, and I pause on the sidewalk, the lawn manicured, the windows gleaming. It's a world away from my modest apartment, a reminder of the life I could have lived if I'd chosen flash over secrecy. I ring the bell, my heart thudding. Mom! Clara opens the door, her smile hesitant but warm. She's in jeans and a sweater, no corporate armor today. You're early. Habit, I say, stepping inside. The house smells of fresh bread and herbs, and I hear Emma and Liam laughing in the kitchen. Smells wonderful. Hope so, Clara says, leading me in. I cooked. No sapphire chefs today. I raise an eyebrow, teasing. You cooked? Should I be worried? She laughs, a sound I haven't heard in too long. I'm not that bad, Mom. In the kitchen, Nathan's setting the table, his sleeves rolled up. Hey, Mom, he says, his grin sheepish. No phones today, I swear. Good, I reply, my tone light but firm. Emma and Liam rush over, hugging me, their energy infectious. Grandma, tell us about the restaurant, Emma says, tugging my hand. How'd you pick the chandeliers? Later, sweetie, I say, patting her head. Let's eat first. James emerges from the living room, offering a nod. Eleanor, good to see you. His tone is warmer than last night, and I nod back, cautious but open. We sit at the dining table, a spread of roasted chicken, salad, and homemade bread before us. It's simple, nothing like the Sapphire's elegance, but that's what makes it feel real. Clara passes me a plate, her eyes meeting mine. Mom, I meant what I said last night. I want to know you, the real you. I pause, a forkful of salad halfway to my mouth. That goes both ways, Clara. I want to know you too. She nods, swallowing. Fair. I've been so focused on work. I forgot how to be a daughter. I'm sorry. Nathan clears his throat, his voice low. Me too, Mom. I've been a jerk, assuming you were just there. I want the kids to know you, like, really know you. Emma chimes in, her eyes bright. Can we help at the restaurant? Like, learn stuff? Yeah, Liam adds. I want to see the kitchen. I smile, my chest warming. We'll see. It's a lot of work, but I'd love to show you. The conversation shifts, lighter now. Emma's school play, Liam's soccer game, Nathan's new job. It's not deep, not yet, but it's more than I've had in years. Clara listens, asks questions, and when she refills my water, her hand brushes mine, a small gesture that feels like a promise. Mom, she says after a pause, I was thinking, there's this charity project at work for the community center. Could you maybe help? You know, with your experience? I blink, surprised. You want my help? Yeah, she says, her voice earnest. You're kind of a genius at this stuff. I'd be stupid not to ask. I laugh, the sound startling me. I'll think about it, but no promises. Deal, she says, smiling. As we clear the plates, Emma and Liam beg for stories about the sapphire. I tell them about the first night we opened, the chandelier that flickered, the jazz band that saved the mood. They hang on every word, and for the first time, I feel like their grandmother, not a stranger. The afternoon slips by, and as I prepare to leave, Clara walks me to the door. Mom, this was good, she says, her voice soft. Can we do it again? Soon? I'd like that, I say, hugging her. Nathan and the kids wave from the porch, and James calls, Take care, Eleanor. In the cab home, I watch Willow Creek pass, the spark of hope growing. It's not perfect. Trust will take time, and wounds don't heal in a day. But today, I saw my family try, saw them see me. Henry's voice whispers, Love loudly, Ellie. Maybe we're learning how. You've got this, I say softly, the cab pulling up to my apartment. The future's uncertain, but for now, I'm not invisible. And that's enough. The afternoon light falls softly on Willow Creek, bathing my small apartment in gentle amber. I sat at the familiar oak table, my hand gently holding the cup of chrysanthemum tea at the end of the day, now cold, but still warm in my memories. What had happened? The naked encounter at the Sapphire? The words I had never dared to say? The quiet but sincere lunch with Clara, now settled inside me like the tide after a storm, no longer playing the role of a faint mother or the shadow hidden behind the office door. I am gradually appearing in their eyes, clearer and more real. The journey is not over yet, gaps that cannot be filled in a day. But yesterday's glimmer of hope is no longer fragile. It smolders, enough for me to hold on to and nurture. Perhaps for the first time in many years, I was more than just an observer of someone else's party of life. I am returning, step by step, to my own story. Last night's truth was a storm, tearing down the walls I'd built to test Clara and Nathan. Their shock, their guilt, their halting apologies, they weren't perfect, but they were real. At Clara's house, I saw something new, effort. Her cooking, Nathan's attention, Emma and Liam's curiosity. It was clumsy, human, a bridge we're all learning to cross. They're not the children who dismissed me after Henry's death, nor am I the mother who hid behind a lie. We're meeting in the middle, and it's enough for now. The Sapphire, my empire, hums in the background. Marcus texted earlier. Zoning cleared for Albany. You're a genius. I smiled, but my mind was here, with family. Clara's charity project intrigues me, not for the work, but for what it means. She's reaching out, seeing me as more than mom. Emma and Liam's excitement about the restaurant, their questions about chandeliers and kitchens, feels like a gift. They want to learn, to know me. And Nathan, promising to show up, to be better. It's a start. I sip my tea, Henry's cup a familiar weight. We're getting there, love, I whisper, his mantra alive in me. Live quietly, love loudly. I've done the quiet part too long. Now it's time to love, to trust, to let them in. It won't be easy. Years of distance don't vanish in a week. But I see a path, lit by small moments. Clara's hug, Liam's grin, a lunch that felt like home. The clock ticks, steady as always. Tomorrow I'll call Clara, plan another visit. I'll show Emma the restaurant's books, let Liam shadow Maria in the kitchen. I'll meet with Marcus, keep Caldwell Ventures thriving, but I won't hide anymore. My family knows me now, and I'll hold them to it, just as I'll hold myself to being the mother they deserve. The tea is cold now, but I don't mind. I stand, rinsing the cup, my movements slow, deliberate. Willow Creek is quiet outside, the stars emerging. I'm not naive. Perfection is a fantasy, but I'm hopeful, and that's a strength I'd forgotten. We're a family, flawed but trying, and I'm ready for what comes next. You've got this, Ellie, I say, my voice a whisper in the stillness. I turn off the light, the apartment soft and warm. A new dawn waits, and I'll meet it with open hands. Thank you for listening to my story.